What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And currently, I am live on Twitch TV, where I stream several nights a week. My schedule is going to be listed down below, as well as a link to Twitch. Tonight, we are recording a Q&A, primarily focusing on PAX East news. It's already starting to come out. What else is going on in the gaming industry, 2015, and things along that lines. I'll also be answering some personal questions as well, but we're going to focus primarily on gaming here. And this should be about a 20-minute video all told. These questions are being asked to me live on Twitch, and I'm going to answer them as they come. So, let's see. Am I looking forward to the new Zelda on Wii U, and what can you tell me about it? The new Zelda on Wii U is an open-world game. It's their very first time trying to do something like this. I'm sure there's going to be set directions to go in, but think of it as a no-zoning 3D Zelda, and that's hopefully what we're going for here. I think there's supposed to be one of the largest games Nintendo's ever built. I worry about whether or not they know how to populate it, whether or not they know how to make it interesting. They, above all other people, might be able to do that. I always worry whenever a series that's not open world becomes open world, because a lot of open world games these days are empty. Like, there's nothing really interesting to see in the world. It's sprawling nothing. Skyrim obviously is not like that. Dying Light recently was much more interesting than your average game. I worry that that's what it's going to be, but hopefully the Nintendo team has been able to set down, really populate the world, really put some fascinating stuff in it, things that harken back to previous Zeldas and brand new interesting stuff, and I think it's going to be fantastic. It is simply my most anticipated game of 2015, and I can't wait to play it. Let's see, what else? Have I ever been to a Comic-Con? Was it fun? I have Comic-Con fever. I keep watching the videos on YouTube. I've never been to, like, San Diego Comic-Con or anything like that. I've been to much smaller cons, anime conventions like A-Kon. I've gone to the Kansas City one a couple of times. The local one here, I think GlitchCon. I'm thinking I might work it out to where I'm going to make an appearance at this year's GlitchCon. But we'll talk about it soon. And I've gone to other types of cons like VidCon as well, things like that lines. Cons are difficult on me at my size and all the walking and the crowded areas and things along that lines. I found out, though, I was able to use a mobility cart to go to these things, and now that I'm doing that, I'm going to more. We're debating trying to make plans to go to Dragon Con this year, and we're debating potentially reporting from E3 this year. Knowing that we'll have to use a mobility scooter to do it. I hate having to use it, but when you have to walk miles and miles and miles, I just can't do it. It may come down to that. But we may end up waiting until next year when hopefully I won't need one of those stupid things anymore. But they are super fun. And if you get a chance to go to conventions, I highly recommend you do. Whether it's a gaming convention or one more specific to your interest, it is so much fun, especially if you go with a friend or two, but even if you go by yourself, to be in a room filled with people that love the thing that you love. The only thing greater than loving gaming, or anything else really, but loving gaming, is loving games with a bunch of other players. And the people who make your games, and getting to listen to them speak and shake their hands and thank them personally for the games that they've created. It's one of the best feelings in the world. It really is. So if you ever get a chance to go to any type of convention, go. Absolutely. How do I feel about the Unreal Engine 4 being free? Well, so many games have already been made with Unreal Engine 4, and it's free for developers, obviously. I think we're going to get a lot of great games using that fantastic engine in the future, and I hope that a lot of indie developers will be able to make really good use of it, because it's a hell of an engine, and we've seen some incredible games made in it. What you looking forward to more, HoloLens or HTC VR? I said this on Twitter the other day. Total Biscuit disagreed with me, but I kind of feel like the virtual reality market is being oversaturated. We have Oculus and for PC, then we have Project Morpheus for PlayStation, then we have the I forget who did it. Samsung, I think, has the offering where you can slide your cell phone in and do virtual reality this way. Now you've got Valve doing Valve's Vive they announced this week, which is going to be perfect for PC gaming. I see Total Biscuit's point of view in that he's saying there's only two competitors on PC. And that's great. And I think there needs to be competition on PC. Valve versus Facebook, basically, on the virtual reality devices available for PC. That's great. I'm glad that that's happening. But what I worry about is the consumers feeling confused. I want to get a virtual reality device. Which one do you have? Well, I have Project Morpheus for my PlayStation 4. Well, that's awesome. You should try these Oculus exclusive games. Well, no, that doesn't work for that. Well, you should try this game on Steam. Well, no, the Oculus may or may not support those games. We don't know yet. Well, what about, I have virtual reality. I use my phone to do it. It's, and of course, even Google Cardboard allows you to do that. I worry because virtual reality is an emerging market. I think it's going to be good. I felt for a period of time, especially after having used my Oculus, which I can't wait to dig out and play with again, I have felt that it was going to be oversaturated. Difficult to use. I thought my eyes would not get used to it, especially because I have kind of a cycloptic vision problem. You guys have always noticed that my left eye is a lazy eye. That's why the right eye is almost always open more often than left. But no, I've had no trouble using it. And I've had no trouble using like my new 3DS, the 3D there. That force perspective 3D. I'm getting really used to it. So I think by the time virtual reality devices come out, I'm going to be super ready. And I'm going to end up buying them all because I'm an idiot. I haven't bought the Samsung one because there's not really much supported yet there. But I'm looking forward to all that. Then you have the HoloLens, which is Microsoft's augmented reality device, which is separate, and that's the one that you asked about. I'm excited to see what that's going to end up being. But again, that's augmented reality. It's something completely different, and I'll probably end up trying that at some point as well. Do you play any MMOs? Not currently. Massively multiplayer online games. I dabble with World of Warcraft occasionally just to do my to Garrison, but other than that. Will I attend PAX East in Boston? Not this year. Hopefully next year. What is the must-have system of this current generation at this time? I think you're asking must-have. And I think really you can get by on owning any three. I think the must-have is PC, honestly. But if you're a person that prefers consoles to PC, I say that probably the PlayStation 4 does everything you want it to do, has reasonably good exclusives. If you prefer the exclusives on the Xbox One, you make some minor concessions to get over to Xbox One, but they're doing a decent job as well. The Wii U has some fantastic exclusives. It's almost exclusively exclusives. There's no third-party games on there. So I think a Wii U is not necessarily a must-have, but it certainly complements things. And all the incredible Nintendo games, if you grew up on Nintendo like I did, you should absolutely look into getting it because the games that are on this version of Wii U are fantastic. And I could not love them more. Every game I played. I just picked up this last weekend, Captain Toad, and what is the other one that I picked up? The other $40 title, which is not immediately coming to mind. I have yet to even get a look at them. I bought them and I put them on the shelf, and they're just sitting there during all the busy times that we're having right now. But hopefully I'll get a chance to play it. What is your favorite RPG or JRPG? I was a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series growing up. The original Final Fantasy on the NES was just breathtaking at the time. Doesn't really hold up. I don't necessarily recommend you go back and play it. Some of the Final Fantasy games do. I really enjoyed 7, but 7 was never my favorite. My favorite's controversial. I really liked 8 out of the entire series the most. I love the card game in 8 was the major reason I was so drawn to that game, but I love the over-the-top final attacks and stuff like that. I also really enjoyed 10. So if you're asking series, probably definitely Final Fantasy, for actual RPG, JRPG specifically. Now, if your definition of loose, it could include things like Skyrim or anything with an RPG element. That's a tougher decision, one I can't make right off the top of my head. I respect you so much, sir. Thank you for your streams and everything else you do. Well, thank you, my friend. What is your favorite type of deck to run when you play Magic? I prefer, and again, we're talking about the game Magic the Gathering, which is published by Wizards of the Coast. Fantastic game. If you've not got into it and you have some spare money, I don't recommend it if you're broke. But there's different ways to play it. You can play it casually. You can play it on a more competitive level. However you want to play it, there's ways to play it for any budget. But when I play, I tend to play very fast decks. I like to play very aggressive decks. I prefer to use creatures to kill people rather than burn, but I will play burn decks whenever they are super fast and applicable. I love white weenie decks. I love building huge armies. I like it when they're particularly indestructible or have steam valves. I love making dudes. Dude-to-dude combat in Magic the Gathering is what always makes me happy. I hate control decks. I'll never play them. What do I think about the upcoming live-action Zelda TV show created by Netflix? We talked about this a little bit last time, so I don't want to repeat myself, but shortly, I think it could be good, and I hope that it turns out to be. Best game on PS4. I hate to say this, but it's The Last of Us remake, which is just spectacularly beautiful. It's well done. The photo mode added a lot of stuff to it. The reskins and everything else make it look fantastic, and the game is very, very good. I also really like Binding of Isaac Rebirth over there. That's not a cup of tea for every game, and it's not one I would recommend on a general level, but if you're the kind of person that likes that kind of thing, you will love that game. Boogie, you need a shave? Yep, I'll probably get one soon. Have I ever played Geometry Dash? No, I have not. Have I played EVE Online? I not my kind of thing, I really think. Game you put the most hours into? We've answered that one before, and that was EverQuest, but you say non-MMO. Oh, wow. Jeez, what would the answer to that be? I'm not really sure. Probably Diablo 2? I played a lot of Diablo 2. That could be the correct answer. I'm going to go with that. What are your thoughts on Fallout being potentially revealed at E3 PAX? Me and my friends were talking about this last night and earlier tonight, and I absolutely want Fallout 3 to be out now. I wanted that to be out now. One of my friends mentioned that I don't know the validity of this, but I think it might be true. He said that when Fallout 3 was announced, it was announced and then released 4 months later. I hope that to be the case. I'm hoping they'll announce it right now, like this weekend, and then we'll get to play it immediately. I expect it to be revealed at E3 and playable in 2016, though. But that is a game that I absolutely cannot wait for. That if it turns out that is being released in 2015, then that will be my most anticipated game, probably well above Zelda. Do I think Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, will be worth buying? It really depends on whether or not you played Borderlands 2. If you've already exhausted Borderlands 2 and played the DLC and stuff, probably not. You probably don't need to pick that up. Because it is Borderlands 2 and then the prequel. If you haven't played the prequel, there is some game there for you for sure. But I don't know why they didn't include Borderlands 1. I would love to have seen that game included, but whatever. I'm not going to split hairs on it. It's probably worth picking up. If you're only slightly familiar with the series, I would highly recommend it. If you've exhausted the series already, like I have, I don't know that I'll even pick it up. Have I played Exo Zombies? It dropped on the 27th of February on my birthday. No, I have not, Thunder Eric. Happy birthday, by the way. I have not got a chance to play it, and maybe we'll stream that later in this week. Do you think there can be a spin-off of the Donkey Kong universe called the Great Ape War? I really don't know. What is your fondest EverQuest memory? Probably our first Plane of Fear raid. I liked it because I felt like I belonged. I felt like we were doing well. I feel like, or maybe the time I got my Molten Cloak. I think that was what it was called. The Haste Cloak from Vox, Lady Vox. That was incredible. That was a hell of a memory. And that's how I really got in with the guild that I ended up spending 98% of my time with in Unity. In EverQuest Unity. Great guys. What do you think about the spiritual successor to Mega Man, Mighty Number 9? I look forward to trying it. I haven't played much Mega Man since the original NES games. Do you plan on playing The Witcher 3 or Star Citizens? I don't have much of a thoughts on Star Citizens. I constantly worry that Star Citizens is going to turn out to be some sort of multi-level marketing scam. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing what it turns out to be, but obviously I have no opinion on it until then, and of course I will play it. Witcher 3, though, however, I have a lot of opinions on. It's probably one of the more exciting games to come out this year. I can't wait to play it. I love the team behind it. I love everything they do. I can't wait to play it. It's going to be my entry. I've seen somebody play Witcher 2. Witcher 3 is going to be my entry into the series, and I'm really looking forward to it if my PC can run it and stream it at the same time. What do you think of the new Dragon Ball Z game? I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. Never seen an episode. I know you're supposed to capture the Dragon Balls, and if you get them all, you get a wish or something. I think. I know the quote over 9,000 comes from there, and I know Goku is a character, but I'm not sure which one. I think he's the guy in the orange suit with the black hair and then becomes Super Saiyan. So I guess I know a little bit about it. I've not played that game at all. I might at some point. But I hear the game is doing fairly well. It's certainly getting streamed on Twitch a reasonable amount as well. Do I think racing genre games will make a comeback? Well, there's already been several for this console generation, and several people have spoken very well of them. I have particularly enjoyed the Crew is okay. I mean, I played it a little bit. It was not that bad. The Forza 5 was horrendous. It just kind of disgusted me. Forza Horizons 2 was phenomenal. I logged so many hours in that game, and I plan to log so many more. There's definitely some good racing offers. Now, what I would like to see is the Burnout series come back with like the original slow motion crashes. That's what I'm crazy into. So, do I think the gaming will ever move back away from microtransactions and money grabs and the like? Well, a lot of people are. iOS is fucked forever. Mobile games is ruined forever. They'll never not be that way. Once people, if people stop doing that, maybe it'll dry up and fix itself, but I don't think people are ever going to stop doing that. I think casual gamers don't really care about it being in there because they're not spending very much money on gaming. They're only spending money on upgrades and Candy Crush. They're not buying 6 titles in the first quarter of each year. They're not buying 20, 40 titles throughout a year. They're buying that one game, Candy Crush, which was free, and then buying upgrades in that game. Or Clash of Clans, or whatever it is they're spending money on. Casual players don't really care. And so I don't think they're ever going to stop spending money. I think that eventually AAA developers will learn to stop putting it in their games. But clearly, if they continue to do it for this long, regardless of the negative backlash, most likely it's working on one level or another. And they're going to continue to do it. I hope you'll continue to not spend money on it, because I hope it never becomes the norm. 2014, it might have become the norm. That might have been the turning point. I hope that's not the case. Do I think the new Homefronts are going to be worth buying? They're reviewed incredibly well. It's not my kind of game, but the people who do like that kind of thing have said it's absolutely fantastic. Boogie, have you played Overlord? And if so, would you ever stream it sometime? It's an RTS type game. I played it quite a bit, actually. I played Overlord 1 and 2. Fantastic games. I got them on the cheap, too, so it made it even better. Will I play the new Guild Wars expansion pack? Not really interested in it. What do I think about Clash of Clans? I've never really experienced it. I know that it's one of the most profitable games on iOS, and I know the game is free, so I probably won't like the business model. And since I know ahead of time that I'm probably not going to like the business model, I choose to stay away from it. But a lot of people seem to have a lot of fun with it, and if you're the kind of person, it doesn't bother me one way or the other, man. If you're having fun, that's fine. I don't know that I'll ever try it because I don't really want to participate in a thing where I feel the need to spend a little money sometimes to upgrade my guys or bypass time or things along that lines. Most disappointing game you've ever played? We answered that last time we did this, but the answer is quite clearly still Dragon Keeper or Dungeon Keeper on iOS. Just one of the most horrendous things. Do I think Hearthstone will or should add more classes? Well, there's only 2 classes left in the World of Warcraft universe. And that's Death Knight and Monk, and I absolutely believe that they will release them over the next couple of years. But yeah, I hope more deck slots comes before then. Thank you, Blizzard. Do you or did you ever play any of the Elder Scrolls? I played every single one, and I loved every last one of them. Daggerfall actually was my first entry into it. Was it Daggerfall? Pretty sure it was Daggerfall. And it was buggy as hell, but so much fun. And it really just made me a fan of the series from then forward. What's better in your opinion? World of Warcraft's going to be free with in-game tokens for time. Well, that's still not free. You still got to grind gold to pay for those tokens, and we don't know how much gold, so it's not necessarily free. Or H1Z1 going under new management from being dropped by Sony Online Entertainment. I believe the H1Z1 team is pretty much staying intact, isn't it? I haven't heard of any letting goes or firings because it is a successful game. So I'm fairly certain it's going to be the same people doing it, and I'm glad because they put together a hell of an interesting game already. I've enjoyed what I've played of H1Z1. I hope they can work on hackers at some point, but that'll take some time. Let's see. Why was the Order 1886 a money grabber? Okay, I have not completed the Order 1886 to know that I'm speaking out of the side of my mouth. The Order 1886 was beautiful. I want to tell you right here, absolutely, the demo that I played of the Order 1886 and what I played on the console since I've had it at home, it is without a doubt one of the most beautiful games I have ever played. It is much more beautiful, and remember, it's the PlayStation 4 doing this, which was outdated the day it came out. Outdated hardware compared to the PC. It looks better than the majority of PC games that I've played. It looks spectacular. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And if you have not played it, I highly recommend that you consider doing so. Now, that said, you might want to wait till it's on a budget because it is very short. I've been told, I've had the ending spoiled for me, and I will not spoil it for you, but I will tell you that it's open-ended, preparing for a sequel. which it may or may not even deserve because the game is so short. It is basically what I think has happened, and this is purely speculation. I believe that they ended up overdeveloping the engine, which is, I'm glad that they did. They made it as beautiful as they could to really milk the system to make the PlayStation 4 look as good as the PlayStation 4 possibly can, and then really didn't get to make much game. Now, several exciting franchises have been launched that way, most notably the God of War series, where they designed an incredible engine and then ran out of money and had to skip a lot of fights and bosses and end the game earlier than they originally anticipated to do. Did that happen over the order? Maybe. And if it did, I'm hoping they'll make up for it with a second game. I really think it should have been a $40 title, but I understand why it couldn't be. So, again, it's not bad. I don't think it's a money grabber. I think it's a beautiful game that they spent a lot of money putting together that awesome engine, and I think that engine will be used well in the future. Let's see. Am I looking forward to Splatoon? I believe I answered that last time, but absolutely yes. Anytime Nintendo is ready to make a new franchise, I'm excited to give it a shot. Have you played Life is Strange? If so, do you plan on getting the rest of the chapters? I have not played it yet. Am I excited for Half-Life 3? Nope. Are you the real Boogie 298? Nope, I am the imposter. What is your fondest... No, we've answered that. Let's see. Why don't I make Jesse videos anymore? Well, that's not really gaming related, but because people don't really seem to get them. People get really mad. Are you excited for Mortal Kombat X? Yes. In fact, this gives me an opportunity to talk about something that I'm really interested in. A couple weeks back, there was a rumor floating around that the developers of Mortal Kombat had made the decision to reduce breast size on their characters to make the game more realistic. And a lot of people were like, some people liked that idea, some people took it as meaning one thing, some people took it as meaning another. I took it as meaning that they wanted to create more realistic female-looking characters, and I just took it as face value. Some people meant that that meant they were trying to be more socially acceptable, which is not particularly a terrible thing to do. It's their decided decision, and they can ultimately do whatever the hell it is they want to do. Along with that rumor, though, they said Melina would not make an appearance, and now it looks like Melina is in fact in the game, which is nice. I think that Mortal Kombat's going to be a hell of a game. I made a lot of jokes about it on Twitter, but here's what it really comes down to. I don't understand why they need or want realism in a video game that involves Spawn is going to be in the game, like Freddy Krueger was in the previous one, and now, there's like Goro, a four-armed mutant, demon, whatever. I don't really know how realism is supposed to fit in a game about gods beating each other over and over and over to, quote, death with gory fatalities in the hopes to dominate the netherworld. I don't really understand how realism fits into that, but here's what I say. If they want to make their female models look a little more average, to make other people feel more compelled to play the game or more comfortable with it, more power to them. And so absolutely, I'm looking forward to Mortal Kombat 10. I can't wait to play it. I'm hoping to get a review copy. I wish I could get a copy right now. Send me one right now, Warner Brothers. I love your games. And I love you for making them. Would you ever want to make your own game? Potentially, but I don't know what I would make. I prefer to play. In your opinion, what do you think of the requirements for a game to be beyond good and classified as a classic or a game of the year? Who knows, man? A lot of different things. Is voice acting important? Is storyline important? Sometimes it depends on the game. Is the gameplay important? Absolutely all of the time. Is it the unique gameplay or the unique story or the unique whatever that's going to make your game different? It really all comes down to artistic vision and artistic integrity and really what the artist has in mind when he designs and creates that game. Is this game going to be this? What is it going to be? And then once it's made, ultimately how that resonates with the players. So who really knows? But I mean, if you look at the game of the year for each, and now these days there's multiples. But if you look at all the different best games in the history of gaming, they all have one quality. They all have one common theme, one common thread, and the common thread is quality. It was good at what it tried to do, and that's what makes it a good game. If you ever played Time Splitters, how do you feel about the franchise? It's okay. I've played it. When do we get our Nerd Cube collab? One day, I hope. When do you play Monster Hunter? Do you play Monster Hunter 4? No, I have not. Will Sonic games ever make a comeback? Possibly. What is your opinion on Until Dawn bits and pieces they showed us so far? I don't really know much about it, actually. What game genre do you think could benefit from more variety? All of them. Variety is the spice of life. Are you into city builders? I loved the older SimCities, not so much the newer ones. It gets too complex for my stupid old brain. Do you have any predictions for E3 this year? Yes! Nudity! Man, I don't know, man. A bunch of big promises that are going to let us down and piss me off and give me Francis Rages to enjoy. All right, hey man, that's going to wrap it up for this little thing. I think we're at about 25 minutes. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's shorter. I'm not sure. If you enjoyed this kind of thing and you're watching it here on YouTube, do me a favor. Let me know in the comment box below. Hit that like button so other people see this video. And the more of my videos you interact with by either commenting or liking or watching fully or sharing, it guarantees they'll show up in your feed so you can see more of my videos later. And I appreciate it if you do that. All right, guys, I'm going to go back to streaming on Twitch. I'm going to hang out with the people here. Thank you guys so much for watching this on YouTube. I love you very much, and thanks for responding to the first one so well. I hope you respond to this one as well, and if you do, we'll try to do it every couple of weeks as a little bit of a gaming crunch about what I think about gaming and what's going on in this crazy brain of mine. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll speak with you soon.